I'm going to share something that I haven't shared with most people in here. And I'm going to say, put a disclaimer in front of it, that it wasn't the St. Paul police who responded in a very positive way, but it was police officers who were working with the St. Paul police during the Philandro Castile situation. Many people in the room probably know that I live on Summit Avenue, right across from the governor. During that time, those streets were blocked, and you couldn't go up and down those streets. And the reason why I'm staying on this, because it's getting at the heart of cultural awareness, cultural sensitivity, and how do we respond to people who are different, who don't look like, who don't present like, and all those other kinds of things that we see as norm and tradition. Police officers wouldn't let me on the street, because in their mind, I didn't live on Summit Avenue. I didn't belong. I had to get a police placard from the St. Paul Police that they gave to me so that I could put in the car and say, I'm on official police business. I eventually gave it back because my point was, I don't deserve this any more than anyone else. So the reason why I'm pushing you on this one, I want to know for this community, given where we're located, we're an inner city institution, and we pride ourselves on being an inner city institution. But I will tell you every time, and students, please forgive me for referring to you this way, but I do refer to you this way. Every time one of our babies walks out that door and around the neighborhood, we worry. We worry. I can't speak to all of us, but I worry. I want to make sure they're safe. I want to make sure they feel protected. I want to make sure that if they go to a police officer, and we have good police officers who partner with us on our campus. I do to say that, we really do. But not everybody's creative people. We know that. And not everybody behaves the same way. So, what is a police office? And Chief Extel is good. Of course. So I'm not putting a label on anybody or trying, but I still worry about is the police department getting the kind of training that they need? And what is being done to make sure that we lessen the probability that one of our babies will be harmed in a way that we can never come back from?
It's an important question, and and I appreciate your comments about Chief Extel and our police department, because the truth is, I speak in national audience. People always ask me, because they know I have strong feelings about how police departments should operate, and people always ask me, like, is there a police department that's doing it right? Like, if there's a police department to emulate, like, in the country, like, who would it be? And without blinking, I always say it's St. Paul, right? And so, yes, our officers are getting amazing training. They're getting crisis response training. We just added a team to really focus on people, like, on survey people with mental illnesses. So when we identify people in crisis, we can bridge the gap to connect them to opportunity and connect them to resource, as opposed to kind of deeper crisis. Our police officers intervene with people who are experiencing homelessness, and just on so many levels, like, do that every day. We also exist in the context of this national movement, in which we see YouTube videos, frankly, from other communities, sometimes across the country, sometimes right next to us, right, that make us all really concerned about our underlying relationship. And I would say, we are in the context of this, like, broken public safety system, this broken criminal justice system, in which, not only can Philandro Castile be killed, but that we can have a statement from our courts and our criminal justice system that that's okay. That what happened is just fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? And acquitting that officer, I think there are people who look and say, like, why should I care how long it takes you to get to work, right? Why should I care about anything else if this is okay, right? That's a question that we have to answer, and hopefully our answer is going to be that that's not okay. But all I have to say is, I look at some of the movies about, like, the Vietnam War, and people in that era, who hated the war, right, would protest the war, and then people who supported the war would say, you have to support our soldiers. And we've come to the conclusion in our country that supporting our soldiers starts with never sending them into a bad conflict, right? It starts with never sending them into conflict under false pretenses, right? A conflict that we could have avoided. In the same way, I think it's really unfortunate, honestly, like, you know, I have a lot of thoughts and I talk all the time about the relationship that we want between police officers and our community. And some folks, I think lazily try to label that as being anti-police, right? When in actuality, I think of it in the exact same way. The best way we can support our police officers to have a safe job, to go be safe themselves, because the truth is they're worried about themselves. I was worried about my father. And the best way we can support our officers is to make sure that when we send them onto a block, when we send them into a community, we have people who are hopeful about their future. That is supporting our officers. People who are hopeful about their future, and people who, when they see a St. Paul police badge and uniform, they say, thank God, help us on the way, right? And so to me, that trust that has to exist, like our most valuable public safety resource is that trust and teamwork that has to exist between our officers and our community members. And I get really, really hostile towards anything that would degrade that trust, right? And it can't be a false trust, it can't be a blind trust, and trust can't be built in the dark without transparency and accountability. It can't be a look the other way trust, right? And there's nothing to see here type of trust. It has to be about transparency, it has to be about the long term, it has to be about the ongoing kind of relationship. I do think that Chief Axtell really understands that. He always talks about the bank of trust and the fact that when it comes time to make a withdrawal, you better hope that you spent the last year making deposits every single day in that bank of trust. And I think that's a really strong metaphor. I actually think that we're on the cusp of really getting it right in St. Paul. I think it's about, like I was talking about earlier, thinking about public safety, getting upstream of like after something bad happened. If we're only sending our officers after something bad is happening, then of course it's going to be a negative kind of a gotcha game. Of course it's going to be a negative relationship. Of course people are going to not like it when the police show up if they're always kind of chasing folks down. That's why we have to consider our youth jobs. That's why we have to consider our summer after school programs, our summer programs. That's why we have to consider these kind of relationships, just having people on the light rail who know our young people and can engage with them and help them apply for a job. That's why we have to consider some of those things as a part of our public safety ecosystem, because if we're still stuck in this space where public safety is about just pushing people out of our community every chance that we get, then those people who are pushed out of the community, they're going to see our officers as the pushers, and they're going to always respond in a negative way, and there's going to always be a bad relationship there. I want that one.
We can't thank you enough for spending time with us. By saying, there is no doubt that the city of St. Paul is in good hands. We appreciate the hard work. We appreciate your commitment. We appreciate the fact that you act on what you believe. So when I started by saying that you are a true piper because you believe in the words of John Wesley by your actions, do all the good you can. And I'm going to skip to the last part, for all the people you can.
That's right.
That's what we believe here at Hamline University. And you exemplify that every single day. So we thank you. We thank you for hiring Hamline alums.
Yes.
We thank you for who you are. And let us know what we can do. And we've already been told some of the stuff we can do, but what we can do to continue to support the efforts that you're making on behalf of us all. Thank you again.
I'll be back.